Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And tonight we'll be reviewing a movie called, slasher movie, I should call it, Sorority Row, which was done in 2009.
Now, as far as I can read by my notes here, it's a re-imaging of the 1982 slasher film, The House on Sorority Row by Mark Rossman. So, yeah, it's similar but different. How's that?
Quite right.
Now, here we go. Produced by Darren Hollander and Mike Karz, K-A-R-Z. Directed by Stuart Hendler. Written by Joss Stolberg and Peter Goldfinger.
I wonder if that's a nickname.
I wonder if it got something to do with James Bond. No, anyway.
Who knows?
Now, it's based on the House on Sorority Row by Mark Rossman, who obviously wrote the story for the original movie. However, in this movie, there's a building called Rossman House, which has been named after the guy who wrote the story. Interesting. Ooh. Okay, what do I got here? Now, budget and stuff. Budget, about 12.5 mil. Box office is about 27. It didn't do huge, but didn't die either. So, yeah.
So, it didn't die on its ass.
However, it's probably done a bit better at its home media. And and it's still around, I gather,
as far as I can
see. So, yeah, it's out there in your Amazon and your eBays and stuff. And so, yeah, it's, yep, what can I say?
Yeah, anyway, Mike and I watched it last night, and we thought it was pretty cool.
Refresh our memories. Yeah.
And it was pretty cool and newish to us.
Well,
when you say, Mike?
Was that?
It was very newish to us.
Newish?
New.
I was newish seen it before.
Well, I just mean I've never seen it before until now, and I've always wondered to myself after we watched the ones last year we watched a few sorority house movies. Like we've seen a few of them. We've seen the Black Christmas.
Black Christmas.
We saw it a few more. To clarify, I think there's nothing wrong with the 80s or the 70s when they do dabble with sorority houses.
I like them.
But it's kind of good to see in this one having actual younger teens playing actual younger teens.
Yeah, instead of adults playing younger teens.
Instead of young adults playing young...
Anyway, there we go.
Go on.
The list of players. Brianna Evigan plays Cassidy Tappan. I won't mention who they are, what that is. It's just their roles. Leah Pipes plays Jessica Pearson. Interesting lady. Rama Willis plays Ellie Morris. Jamie Chung plays Claire Wen. Margot Heisman as Charlene. Chugs is a nickname. Yeah. Bradley. Julian Morris plays Andy Richards. He's got a boyfriend, I gather. Audrina Partridge as Megan Blair. What is part of the Partridge family?
Beats me.
No. Caroline Demore as Maggie Blair.
And here's
they're
someone.
The two sisters, I guess.
Yeah, and this is and I think I'd like to mention. Can we mention the most popular person who's in this movie, even though she only plays a cameo?
No, look, honestly, you have the greatest mouth of stuff. I'm doing this. You take every good bit away from me.
I know, but I just want to...
Carrie Fisher plays the role of the house mom in this. So she has a bit of a role at the beginning and a bit more substantial role towards the end. Yeah. There you go. Won't say anything more.
It is.
Yes, I love Carrie Fisher. She's a lovely lady.
She's no different than when she did... She puts me in mind of the Black Christmas's, house ma. I mean, in that one, she's a bit of an alcoholic, and this one...
She wasn't an alcoholic.
Her character she's portraying, she's a bit of a... She's likes the odd drink here and there.
Yeah, the odd drink, but she's not an idiot. Anyway, Mike O'Leary plays Garrett Bradley. Now, he's an interesting piece. We'll as we get into it.
Yep.
Matt Atlanta plays Kyle Tyson. I think most of them just bit players, but I'll just go through them.
Yeah.
Max Hannard plays Mickey Donaldson. Rick Applegate plays Senator Tyson. That's that guy's father.
Yeah. I'll get into that character later on.
Ken Bolden as Dr. Rosenberg. And Nicole Moore is Joanna. There you go. I won't say too much about production stuff till later, but I mean, yeah, it was in Pittsburgh area there. Ta-da! I'll talk about it later on.
Yeah, so I'll begin the story. So the story begins at Theta Pi sorority house, as you well know, and these girls are partying like it was the 4th of July. Or something like that.
Christmas, New Year's, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. And these let me see, how many girls? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 girls who are best friends in the sorority house make a prank with their other friend named Meg. Yeah, Megan. Or Meg. Yeah, Meg. Yeah.
Where you going on with it?
And because that's her boyfriend cheated on her, or she cheated on him. It's very complicated.
No. He cheated on her, so she set him up for a prank.
Yeah. The following girls that are on this prank is Casey, the nice girl who's a good girl, and let me see, Jessica, the self-righteous bitch. Well, she's a bitch.
Please.
Her character is a bitch, technically. She's a very selfish girl.
Yeah, it's about me.
Okay.
Right, move along.
Ellie, who's a bit of the nerdy but nice girl. And let me see, there's Claire, who's a very, also very posh and popular girl, obviously.
Yep.
And then there's Meg, of course, who wants to take revenge on her boyfriend by pranking him. So she pranks that she's actually suddenly dies during
they're having sex, and
sex.
He gave her some pills before because they were having a party and stuff,
cough.
She faked her death.
Yeah, she coughed, vomit some saliva, and he panics and he calls the other girls in there, and he tries to round up the car so they can probably take her to the hospital. Or so we think. Then we get the whole story about how she is doing this so she can get back at him for cheating on her. Anyway, they get into the car. They're driving, drive, but then they decided to go to the quarry, or is it a quarry? I wasn't sure what it was. It was
I think it's an old mining area.
Yeah, and they said, "Oh, she's dead. We must do something, guys, and we must try to get rid of her body. We must cut it up into several little pieces and stuff like that."
It was something near, and it was a lake there. It could have been an old mine shaft. It could have been, I don't know what it was.
Yeah, the girls decided to continue with the prank, and Casey's starting to think maybe we're going a bit far here because this is going to get us into big trouble. Anyway, Garrett, the guy they're pranking, takes out a tire iron.
Yeah, one of those four-way sort of tire changing thingies with the lug wrenches on it. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah,
and he plunges the tire iron right into Megan's chest.
Why? She's already supposed to be dead. Why do this? I do not know.
Yeah, she starts puking up blood's gushing out, and the girls try to use Casey's jacket to probably pressurize the wound. I think that's the word.
Stop the bleeding. Yeah,
stop the bleeding, but it doesn't do that, and the girl dies anyway. And now they're stuck in what I call a rock and a hard place. Technically, they have no way of phoning the police or phoning the hospital.
Why he stabbed her in the chest now.
Why?
Because I think one of the girls said to him, have to release the air out of her lungs so she won't float to the surface. So he jammed the tyre changing thing through her chest to let the air out.
Yeah. And he was going on about he was doing this to let out the air. Yeah. That's it. That explains a lot. Yeah. Anyway, the girls start panicking, realizing their futures, the things that are important to them and to their parents are at stake. Or so Jessica tries to manipulate the group. She says that if they turn themselves in, they'll be looking at jail time and stuff like that.
Exactly, even though they actually kill her and Garrett did, but they would be implicated in setting up and be accomplices. Yeah.
Yes, but Casey, she wants to phone the police and probably hopefully get things better again. So she goes up to a hill, tries to get reception, while the rest of the girls, they wrap Megan's body up in a blanket, along with Casey's jacket, I should mention.
Which had some blood on it.
And they throw Megan's body down a mine shaft. And there they said to Casey, who returns, that if she so much as whisper about Megan's death being not an accident, then they'll be saying that she was the one who killed her because her jacket's wrapped around the body, and that
a lot of friends for her.
Yeah, so she is forced to promise not to say a word, and all that's blackmailed into it. That's the word, blackmailed into it. So pretty much they throw the tire arm into the pit too.
Yeah, the tire came
and along with her phone, along with Megan's phone. She was actually filming it from her phone, I should mention.
Funny that, hey?
Funny that is, yes.
Well, she thought she was going to live, so yeah.
Anyway, so 8 years later, now it's getting close to graduation.
8 years?
Yeah.
8 years? 8 months?
8 months, sorry. 8 months later. I don't know why I said... Okay, 8 months later, the girls are about to graduate and go on their separate journeys through life.
Yay.
Casey is still is no longer close with some of her sorority sisters, feeling like she still doesn't like what she did all that stuff.
I didn't like what I did either, so you know.
Yeah, she feels like that they've drifted apart now because of what they've done, and none of the girls will talk to her. Anyway, so they make plans of having a final bash before they went on their separate ways. Jessica is also going to meet her boyfriend's senator's dad, who says if she so much as have a bad record or a bad thing in her past, that her relationship with her boyfriend is over.
Yeah, Rover, yeah.
Yes, over. So he gave her fair warning. If so much as this happens, she will be looking at breaking up, whether it was by her boyfriend or by him.
I think Daddy'd break it up. So you're not seeing my son anymore because you're a troublemaker. Yeah. So his son needs to be a clean skin, so it doesn't reflect on his father. Yeah.
Exactly so. Anyway, Casey is with her boyfriend, Andy, and she is still feeling... like, she wants to tell Andy what happened with Megan, but she feels like it's how this will change things between them. And he's like saying, oh, don't be let it out, all that stuff. I'll be sure to understand what you're going through, all that stuff. Anyway, meanwhile, while all this is happening, the girls start organizing their blowout at the sorority. They're given the full permission by the sorority mother to have a nice quiet gathering. Not. But so she lets them to start getting the kegs in, start getting their party shoes on, and whatever they need, like drugs. So this girl named...
sex, and rock and roll.
Yeah, Chug. Is that her name? Chug?
Chug.
Who's goes to a psychiatrist to get some drugs, and she sees him in a very particular position. He was in a bed with a handcuff on the bed, and he wants her to do a few sexual favors in return for drugs.
His person left early, and he did undo him. Yeah.
In return for nice drugs, she must complete whatever that person said did. So she goes off for a minute, and meanwhile, while this is happening, someone is approaching inside the room, and that person slowly approaches the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist tries to get the key to try to unlock the cuff, but only to get stabbed in the chest when he tries to get up in the end.
Bugger.
By the tire iron, no.
Yes, another tire iron killing.
Yeah. Chud reappears, and she tries to look for him and thinks it's a kinky game, whatever. And
she doesn't see him laying on the bed, laying next to the bed.
She then decides to lie down on the couch, and while she's drinking some scotch she probably found in his... Scotch, whiskey, whatever.
A bottle of wine
it's
or
a bottle of
beer
wine
or
or
something.
beer.
Yeah. She's guzzling it.
She's guzzling it down, and as she's leaning back, she then sees the killer, and he plunges the bottle itself straight through her throat.
Straight down her throat. Yeah.
And she's like,
yeah. And
choking.
then he gets her with the tire iron.
Yeah. And the blood goes right into the bottle. Gross.
Yeah, a bit of backwash.
Yeah, the girls are waiting for her, trying to figure out what's keeping her so long. But we later find out from a text message that she was killed. Oh, I should mention that the killer in this movie, he actually texts them, all of them at once, with messages, and shows. There was even one where they showed the tire iron that was probably from the mine shaft. Supposedly.
Well, you think it is, because it wasn't down there later on, so yeah.
Yeah, big question. Anyway, the girls start getting themselves organized for the party. It's all full swing. Everyone's having their fun time. And then...
Because no one knows Chugs has been killed at this point.
No. They think she's probably waylaid, if that's a word.
Mm-hmm. Waylaid, yeah.
If that's the best word for it. Anyway... I should mention a reappearing character. They do encounter... Meg's sister, Megan, that's her name, Megan, who is thinking of pledging for their sorority next year, probably, or something. But unfortunately, she's not allowed to the party.
One's Maggie and one's Megan. Okay.
But unfortunately,
and the new one is Maggie.
Yeah, they see her a couple of times, and she's acting all creepier and stuff like that.
Strange.
Like she knows that something.
She doesn't know anything, but she just seems like she does.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, while, let me see, Claire is with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend wants to get a little more handsy. She tells him get stuffed, and he tries to get it on with 3 other girls in different times. First one just rejects him. The other 2...
Reject him?
Yeah, he wanted to do
out.
Do a video with them, but unfortunately, nah. So, anyway, he tried... Well, he was like...
He wanted to get a look at their tits.
Yeah, that's it.
That's not a video. That's...
Sorry, I'm just going...
That's a visual.
Anyway, he then heads into another room, and he thinks it's Claire playing... hoping to make up with him, but then it's actually the killer, and he starts stabbing into him, and he, well, not stabbing, he actually trips and breaks his leg, and he tries to crawl away from the killer. He tries to beckon to a bunch of people outside the window, hey, someone help, but they think, oh, he's drunk, drunking sort of thing, and he tries to make his way to a laundry chute, but somehow he gets stuck, and thanks to the tire arm, he had his throat slit.
Yeah, bugger.
It was disgusting.
Never mind.
And Ellie witnessed this brutal killing, and she screams for her sisters, and the sisters saying, "Oh, calm down. What's wrong? All that stuff." But she's very she can't really get it out because she's shocked.
Look at the face, hey.
Yeah, and of course Jessica thinks this is anxiety because of Maggie's sister appearing and acting all weird and stuff like that, and she thinks then Jessica and Casey discover the body of Claire's boyfriend, and they realize they're in big trouble. They also get 2 more messages from the killer telling them about how he knows, and how he's got the video footage of the same video footage that Meg shot that very night.
On her own phone. And the phone had been thrown down the mine shaft with the body.
Yeah, they then decide to head down to the mine shaft to see if this might be Meg still alive, or it could be Garrett tricking them. They continue thinking Garrett is being tricky ever since the whole incident.
Well,
but I think he's just broken down, the poor fella.
Mentally handicapped thing, eh? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, they then make their way to the mine shaft, and eventually they come across Garrett. They see him covered in blood, but it's actually he's got cuts on his hands, which indicate he's been self-inflicting his own wounds.
He had a piece of glass or mirror in his hand. He cut his wrist with it. Yeah,
and without even thinking, Jessica runs him over, thinking he's a psycho. But they think the blood is someone else's blood, but it's actually not.
It's his own.
It's his own, meaning He also was a victim of the killers sending messages. He's got a message, the same messages as they did, meaning he was probably doing some creepy stuff at the same time, trying to avoid the killer, but at the same time he decides to take his own life because of those messages. So anyway, back to the story. The girls then decide to head down inside the mine shaft. So they use the special chain as sort of to help Casey down there. Why Casey? I don't have a clue. Why not like Jessica? Because she was the one who had got the girls to swear to do this sort of thing. I don't know.
Tipped a nail or something, you know.
Anyway, she then eventually the chain breaks and she soon slumps into the at the end of the
falls down the bottom of the hole.
Yeah. Okay. And she using her mobile, I think. Yeah, mobile. She doesn't find the mobile phone. She doesn't find Meg's body, but she finds a message in very fresh blood that says Theta Pi must die. Yeah. So they head back to the sorority house, which is deserted because they're going to an after party. And it's deserted.
Except
for a few people who may be still
having sex from something. Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
You can't stop these things.
What do you call it? The jacuzzi. It's what did they call it? They said it was it's flooded or.
It had all those bubbles in it.
It had all these bubbles in it.
They put detergent in the bubble up.
Oh yeah, and so anyway, Claire goes off to unplug it or whatever, and while Jessica heads inside to find her boyfriend and anyone else who may have been inside the house. Eventually, they do find Megan in her room, and she's saying that she met up with this nice looking guy. As it turns out, it was Jessica's boyfriend, whom she was.
And I think she knew that.
Mm-hmm. Mm. They quickly have a bit of a girl fight or whatever, and then eventually Claire pushes her off, and eventually tells her to quit it. Eventually, we find out later on, Claire gets lassoed by the ankle into the spa. She has as a weapon, what was it called? Flare gun? Yeah, flare gun. She got it into the car.
Flare gun, yeah.
And I think the killer accidentally not accidentally.
He didn't accidentally anything.
He actually pulled the trigger and allowed it to
and set off the side of the mouth. There you go.
Casey notices it, and they quickly dart back inside the house, locking it. And they soon enough run into their sorority mother, who tells them, they say, "How do you know about what we did to Megan?" And she says, "What are you talking about, Megan? I told you guys not to trash my house."
Yeah.
Meaning that she didn't know anything about this sort of thing. She then they tell her that there's a killer stalking them and all that stuff. And so the sorority house mother decides to take a gun, which is a very big, what would you call it?
Some sort of rifle. I didn't notice.
It's a big rifle.
A big one.
It's not exactly a pistol or
I think it could have been a shotgun. I think it was taking cartridges like.
Yeah, I haven't seen a gun like that since Arnold Schwarzenegger's day. Anyway, back to the story. She goes off to hunt the killer, while the remaining sorority girls, they call the police. Although, for some reason, none of them have their phones on them. They realize that they're in trouble, So Casey and Jessica, they head off to try to find a phone. They then come across Jessica's boyfriend, and who knows about the murder of Megan. And quickly the girls start fighting him and thinking he's the killer because he's wearing, I should mention this before, the killer is wearing a black graduation robe.
Yeah, and he's been using that all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
For some silly reason.
Yeah, beats me.
It would stick out like dog's balls, wouldn't it?
Yeah, considering that it would be a bit weird to be walking around in a robe. Not everyone else was, except there was a time when we saw a girl wearing it, and
if she was half naked. She did that to walk in, and then she took her clothes off.
Yeah.
Why not?
Anyway, they fight him, and eventually he gets an axe through the neck by Andy, who Casey's boyfriend. They embrace, and then Jessica notices right away in his hand the tire iron.
Oops.
And we realize that he is the killer, as it turns out. And he then goes on to say that he knew about the whole thing from Ellie, who Ellie confided to him about it. Don't know why. And not to mention all the other boyfriends, and not to mention a few other Vader pies, overheard
wing pies.
Overheard the conversation between the girls, and some of them got killed off.
And he's been killing them off so no one would know what happened.
Yeah, except for Casey. He doesn't want her life tied in with this that could land her in jail for life, maybe, or something like that. And he thinks that by killing them, he and her will have a future, hopefully.
Why do you keep calling Cassidy Casey?
Okay, Casey, sorry.
It's Cassidy.
Like
hop along Cassidy, okay?
Sorry. Anyway, he then kills Jessica in front of her using the tire arm.
I would have killed her early.
Yeah, Jessica was all about, we'll keep it secret, and it'll be all cool.
Just protecting herself, yeah.
She's all protecting herself, even after she killed her own boyfriend. Even after her boyfriend tried to kill her.
Yeah, well, I would.
And eventually, he plans on killing Ellie, the final member, and possibly Megan, I think. Because Megan knows about the fact that the girls killed her sister.
Megan was the dead one. Maggie is the live
one.
Okay,
Maggie is still...
You're getting the names mixed up.
I keep getting mixed up.
Maggie is the little sister, okay?
Yeah, Maggie is still living, and she's caught in a fire, downstairs. She actually thought that this killer was actually her sister running around loose, but no, it's not. Anyway,
her body was there. She was there in spirit.
Yes, as it turns out, they find the body in the shower.
The guy... Alex had actually, when he got the tire on, he got the body, and he put the body in there for some reason.
Yeah, creepy.
What the? So no one would find it?
More like something to scare them with.
Well, to scare the crap out of them. Yeah.
Anyway, he then tells... so he plans on killing Ellie and hopefully that he and her will ditch this and just move on with their lives. Yay. So she tells him that she'll stand outside while he goes searching for Ellie. But she quickly tries to find her, and as she tries to get her out of there, Andy appears and starts fighting with his girlfriend while she yells Ellie to get out of the house and run for the hills. Meanwhile, eventually she keeps fighting, and eventually she gets him, finally gets him out cold until she goes downstairs to find Maggie downstairs and tries to help her. And she even yells out that she lost her sister. She's not going to lose her.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't know her really well.
No.
Oh, I should mention, Megan knew some secrets from the sorority house. Like, she knew Jessica... that she hated, that her sister hated Jessica because of her bitchiness.
Who wouldn't?
Anyway, who wouldn't? Anyway, she tries to help her, but then Andy appears and tries to use the tire iron and a bit of rope to strike and kill Megan as they progress.
Yep.
But eventually, Cassidy, she eventually, while the fire is burning, some of the wood boards underneath her feet fell apart and broke, and she's dangling in midair in the base, from the floorboards.
It wasn't burning under it just there, but near it there was.
She begs Andy to help, but unfortunately he says, "You chose your sisters over me." Yeah. And eventually, Ellie appears, finally grown some cojones, and has somehow got her sorority mother's shotgun. I should mention the sorority mother got killed.
Yeah, she got killed by the guy. Yeah.
And she then pelts a few bullets into Andy, and Andy falls backwards
onto the floor.
And then the floor collapses, and he falls into the basement where the fire was. And quickly, all three girls, they quickly leave the sorority house.
Yeah. So we have Maggie, Ellie, and Cassidy slowly walking out the front door.
Then flash forward to 18 months later, I think. I'm not sure. Is it 18 or 13?
15 months.
Okay, 15 months later. Now Maggie is now part of Data Pi sorority, and she's cheering on new pledges. Yeah. And we see as the house is being prepared,
touches on the building.
We see an unknown figure who has a cut on his wrist, indicating this might be Garrett,
the guy who killed the first girl accidentally, thinking she was dead.
So who knows what's going to happen next?
He might have survived. He's a bit cracked. So, well, there was room for a sequel, but was there a sequel? No, there wasn't.
No. Sadly, alas, that never been. But that's okay because I like a bit of
a hanging end.
I like a cliffhanger ending.
Anyway, it wasn't too bad. Fade to black. There you go.
Yeah, I thought this movie was pretty cool, especially the ending. How it left you wondering, will there be another killer on the loose, or will we just will it end just the way it did? Or will they there won't be a killer? Maybe Garrett is taken up gardening.
We could have been. You can't never know your luck.
Anyway, I thought it was an awesome ending. Or even Maggie might have become the next killer. That would be something cool. Ooh. Considering she's got this...
Or the next victim.
Ooh. But there's not enough information about...
No, it was just hanging. It was left hanging for
as far as I'm
supposition.
How's that? I mean, she lost her sister, and she may have a personal grudge. Who knows, maybe there may have been a personal grudge against the fact her sister was murdered by those very girls.
Well, those girls didn't murder her.
True.
Garrett did.
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Garrett did.
He thought she was already dead.
But it would have been an interesting idea if she had a final confronting with him, and that would be so cool. Something extraordinary, something really remarkable. But I guess, as I said before, it never happened, never will.
Nah.
Unless somewhere in the near future, someone out there is writing the script as we speak of a different sorority house. It
would have been done by now.
I know. I'm referring to a different story plot. A different take on the Sorority Row.
This one was done 13 years ago.
Yes, but I'm referring to a new story, like as in a different story on secrets and stuff like that. I should have told these guys earlier. This movie makes me think of I Know What You Did Last Summer a little bit.
And you mentioned Black Christmas.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
but
similar.
But I think this is more to do with the whole secret angle, where the girls who are forced to keep a secret to avoid having their lives taken away.
But someone's doing a killing and don't know who it is, and for whatever reason it is. So anyway, really good. It's groovy. That's not the word, isn't it, folks? I can't say too much about this. Don't have a lot. Like I said before, it was filmed in Pittsburgh area.
I should mention, guys, the reason the therapist was killed was because he may have known something of the
the killer, bugger,
that's why
Andy thought he might have heard something in therapy, so he thought, well, get him out of the way.
Yeah, because he was trying to kill anyone who so much as heard about the murder, just to avoid it coming back and biting everyone on the butt. Or biting his girlfriend on the butt. Even though she was probably the most person who was feeling guilty at the time, because she was not telling anyone, even though the other girls have told one person or another, may have been a relative or maybe or even a boyfriend. They didn't even bother keeping a secret if their life depended on it, even if they were sisters. Anyway, what's the reception for this this thing?
The critics weren't overly happy with it. How's that?
That's pretty much an oversight.
Well, they didn't think it was as good as other ones. We don't think it was too bad.
Yeah, well, it's better than most.
I mean, one of the guys just didn't like. The other guy said it meanders between gore and gags. But they don't say too much. But there's only 2 reviewers. Hey, well,
Yeah, it can be a lot better than...
They might like slasher movies.
Yeah, it could be a lot better than most other slashers I've seen recently.
I've seen some really poxy ones which, got better reception.
Like the one we did with Aqua Slash was a bit of a...
That was crappy.
That was crap, because there was too many expectations for the final scene having the most gore instead of something having a little bit of gore here, a little bit of gore in after
It's
say
just
5 minutes later, a little bit more gore after
it's
10
just
minutes
like
later.
And then nothing in the last few minutes. All the bodies. Well, putting it through a blender. And that's about as far as it went. So it wasn't. Yeah. But this movie was better than that.
I thought this one was a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I would have. My expectations for if Aqua Slash was like, a few dead bodies, in different parts of throughout the movie.
Now here's something.
Yeah.
The reception wasn't great, but there was an accolade here. I found. Audrina Partridge and Ruma Willis were both nominated in 2009 Teen Choice Awards in the category Choice Movie, Actress, Horror and Thriller. So they like something about it.
That's good.
Yeah. But I just don't understand what they expect out of some movies sometimes.
I don't know.
It was not... But to me, half the slasher movies are either straight horror or a bit of comedy thrown in. This is that sort of bit where you got a little bit of funny things, but not overly funny.
Yeah, well...
a few gags here and there to lighten it so the jump scares come over a bit better. That's all it is. It's not a comedy horror. It's a horror. It's a slasher.
Yeah, there was so much gore. There was a lot of gore in it that made me want to gag.
It meets the criteria for a good slasher movie.
And not in a gag as an, oh, I'm going to be sick type gag, but just I feel like, oh my gosh, it's so gross. Ugh,
it may not be the best movie in the world, but it meets the criteria. It's a good fun watch if you want to watch a slasher movie.
Exactly.
Good, clean, wholesome fun, folks. Right. I can't say anything more about it, honestly. Yeah, it is what it is.
I have nothing negative about Sorority Row, necessarily. I think it's wonderfully well constructed. It's
just good.
Yeah, it's just how I would feel like if I was doing a slasher. I would like to make sure I have plenty of kills, as provided that they're memorable.
They did space them out. They didn't happen all at one time. No. What else there?
And I like the messages that the killer sends, like I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, a bit messages. Like that sort of, who's the killer? They all know they're being stalked by somebody. I don't know who it is. So it builds up your suspense angle. And people are dropping off one at a time, not en masse, and
yeah.
So it's suspenseful. It's a slasher movie. It's good filming. The acting's passable. Not a problem at all. I've got no problem. I'm not going to give it 1 million. I'll give it about a 9.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10 myself.
By the way, I didn't check the availability online, but surely it's available. Check eBay, Amazon, or your usual other supplier. I'm sure you'll find a copy of it.
Yeah, check and be sure to write the right name in, considering what we've discussed, Mike.
Like I said, it is called Sorority Row. 2009. Main actors are Brianna Evigan and Leah Pipes.
Yeah.
You get those names showing up on your listing there. You got the right one.
Yeah, just be sure not to put in House on Sorority Row.
But that's the other one. But it's a different year.
I know. I'm just telling the audience out there. If you think that it's called House on Sorority Row, you're mistaken.
It's Sorority Row. Just 2 words. Yeah, so I didn't check the availability. It's got to be out there. It's a good movie. All the other crappy movies. I mean, all the other movies are out there, so this one's probably out there with them. I mean, people are going to watch this movie. It's a good movie.
Slowly.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie.
I have no doubt.
I watched it. I enjoyed it. And the mean girl, she got killed. Yay!
I thought it was pretty. I liked it when her death was called up. Her number was up.
Yes.
I mean, I like it when the killer does a bang up job killing her the most. It's so memorable.
Yeah.
Makes you want to rewind and watch that scene over and over.
It's like that solicitor or accountant or whatever in Jurassic Park when he's sitting on the toilet and he got eaten by the the T-Rex. Everyone really liked that bit. Yeah.
Yeah. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah, and Tyrannosaurus was look. An hors d'oeuvre. And that was it,
Yeah. Oh, man, that bit was so hilarious.
When she died, everyone say, yeah, bitch. Yeah, whatever,
Yeah, she was nasty, that girl. I hate it when she rubbed it into the other girl, telling her, trying to make out that things will be all right after, say, 15 months later.
Everything's good.
Yeah, giving her that fake smile, like.
We're all besties. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you want to give her the birdie.
2 birdies.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, that's about it for us tonight.
We have a short one. You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep these short for.
When we can keep them shorties, we keep them shorties.
Yeah,
when I can't shut Sarah up, they just go on and on.
It's just that when you look at movies like this, there's always a lot of angles to consider in a movie, and always a lot of explanation of why this happened.
Exactly.
Anyway, thanks for listening to our latest podcast, everyone. This is Sarah Stephenson.
And Moggle.
Saying, see you guys in the round, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.